Hi, everyone. I'm Shane McMurray of the Wedding Report, and thanks for joining us on the video podcast series that we're doing around wedding venues, caterers, bar service, and rental companies. Today, I'm meeting with Erika from Michigan. And Erika, thanks for joining me on the show. Tell me about yourself and the business.
Hi, my name's Erika Pineiro. I am running Wild Things Weddings and Events. We are a brand new wedding venue up near Sleeping Bear Dunes in northern Michigan. We're an outdoor venue, so we're focusing on using the beautiful farmland, setting up venues around a wildflower field, an orchard, and then my favorite one is in the Enchanted Forest in 20 acres of wooded forests. And
Nice.
It's just so beautiful up in northern Michigan.
Yeah, especially this time of year, right? Like this is like the prime time, right?
Oh, absolutely. We survive the winters for the beautiful summers. It is the best place in the world to be.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you guys have like any facilities on site, or is it just mostly an outdoor space?
It is an outdoor space. There's a pole barn that actually is a cute little, it's too small for the actual events, but we can do our welcomes through the pole barn. We usually set up like little gift tables, like the card box, things that you don't really want outside in case there's like high winds or something. But otherwise, we have a series of event tents that we set up for rain shelters. But we kind of just try to play off of, especially in the woods, just using the natural shade of the woods.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. So you have wildflower gardens and an enchanted forest. And what was the additional thing?
Then we have an orchard space, but it's a berry field. So that one's not my favorite, but it's still offered just down the road. That one will be gorgeous.
Yeah, what kind of berries?
It's a permaculture farm. So we have a lot of berries that I never heard of before starting this project. There's Saskatoons, there's elderberries, I've heard of those, figs. There's a form of kiwi that survives in northern climates.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're all like really cool that they work together essentially to like heal the soil, because the farm it was 60 acres of just like corn for, I want to say 70 years. So like the whole soil was like completely depleted. And that's why we're like trying to nurture it right now and bring it back to health so we can like have bigger crops come in.
Yeah, gotcha. And the wildflower, how much space do you have for wildflower garden?
We have a 2-acre, it's a pollinator reserve. So it's actually designed by USDA and the state of Michigan working together to help save the bees and the monarchs.
Nice.
So there's it's still pretty new. This is its second year. So it's every year more flowers come out. So this year it's funny because it's like we'll get the whole field will all be tick cedar, with it Silencia. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. And then last time I was there, it's all black-eyed Susans. Like it's just gorgeous. Wow. And I'm excited to see the next couple generations of these flowers because it's just every year they're going to get more and more.
That's incredible.
And then
so like for the wildflower, I mean, I got to imagine that's really popular during certain periods of time because it only happens, like you got to catch it when it's happening, right?
Yes, I would say August and September is the best time for the wildflowers because it's like, especially right now, it's like a lot of things are just blooming. They say year 3 is really whenever it's in perfect like peak, like to start doing the events. I'm hoping for next year to have the wildflower field being a little more popular than this year. Nice. This year it's like the butterflies and the bees are still enjoying it. So maybe we can next year.
Gotcha. And then tell me about the Enchanted Forest.
So the Enchanted Forest, it's a beautiful clearing that was already in the woods whenever we found the property. Natural clearing. So we didn't take out any of the trees.
Nice.
So we have a bunch of string lights spread out through there, and we put in some solar shades just so like if it does downpour, people are like their heads are protected and like leaves and sticks aren't falling on them. So we have a couple of sails throughout there. And then I have a series, like all my chandeliers are on the ground right now, but we hang those up through the woods.
Nice.
And just we kind of design it based on the couple's wants. And we just love to have like whimsical, airy feeling in there. We would just want it to be really unique and like a different experience for every event. I've been personally designing this for a couple of years. It's going to be where I'm getting married next summer. So I'm like, it's really going to be so gorgeous by then. Every time it's different though.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. So tell me about, how many people can you guys accommodate in each one of the areas?
We can host up to 200 people. Nice. And as of right now, since we are a new venue, we're trying not to have more than one event at once. So 200 people throughout the whole venue, even though down the road we will be able to have 3 different weddings at the same time,
Right.
potentially.
And
So
then
we have the space.
Yeah, right. So there's plenty of parking, all that sort of things.
Yes.
Tell me about the logistics of getting stuff there. Do you guys offer the rental stuff, or do people have to bring this stuff in? I know we were talking earlier, you said you build stuff there, and so.
Yeah, so I do a lot of the design. So it's like if a couple wants me to do like decorations and stuff, I'm willing to do that. But otherwise, the venue itself is offering tables, chairs for up to 200 people. We have a dance floor. We are aiming to be a low waste wedding venue, which is almost impossible to do.
It is.
And so we're discouraging, we can't completely prevent trash, obviously, because that's impossible, but we're discouraging the use of like one-use things. So we do offer for free plates and silverware. We're trying to like fund like higher end, like fine china, but getting that for 200 people is pretty expensive. So right now we just have basic ceramic plates, like something that shouldn't break. If it does, we don't care. Easy to clean up. Yeah, so we have the basics for the wedding, but we don't provide, like, we can't do the food. We don't have a kitchen. Gotcha. There's a nearby kitchen that we have up for rent. Another fun perk that we have is our bathrooms are actually, it's a renovated restroom trailer. Nice. And so we can move that between all of the spaces. So it's a luxury restroom, like essentially the honey wagons that a lot of people rent out. Except this one's built into a vintage trailer. So I'm really, cool. I'm really loving this. I'm designing it currently. So this is going to be available starting in August.
Oh, awesome.
But stoked about that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing, I don't know. I mean, you got to have a place to go, but I mean, porta potties just don't, porta
potties. No, I'm sure for, I don't know, maybe if we have like capacity, we'll get some porta potties just to be safe. Yeah. But the trailer can host up to 200 people. So
you need a good restroom facility. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And this one's fun too.
Yeah. Good. So tell me a little bit about like why you decided to do this. I mean, what's the passion behind this, and what's the thing, that got you excited about this?
Mm-hmm. So I've been a designer for commercials and TV shows for the past, going on 12 years. Nice. Yeah, so it's kind of a long story getting into this, how I got it started.
No worries.
But it's like, I've been designing for things. It's like building this beautiful set. And then as soon as we're done, like recording with it, then we tear it down and throw it away. And I just hate that. And then it's like, I realize that there's not much meaning behind a lot of the commercial work I do. It's like, I'm selling a product, somebody's making money off of it. And I'm like, this isn't bringing me happiness. Like, I want to bring joy to people. Yeah. And so it's like, what's better than designing that, like, people like look to their wedding, like little girls are fantasizing about it, since they're little, like grandparents are proud of like all their grandkids whenever they get married. Like, it's such an important day to so many families. I want to be a part of that. And I want to like be able to contribute to the magic of the event. Nice. And bring the skills that I've learned through the film industry and like all like the creative skills and just bring it to one person's day to make it as special as possible.
That's awesome.
Did I answer your question though? I feel like I went off on a tangent.
No,
sorry.
I think that's perfect because, I agree with you, right? Like if you're passionate about something and you build it, and then you got to tear it down. It doesn't. I can feel the pain when you're talking about, getting rid of it.
In this way, it's like I can build something custom for a couple, and then the next couple can see the photos, and they're like, "I love this, but let's make it this way." And so it's like I don't have to throw it away. Like I wouldn't throw it away. I love to reuse, recycle everything, but it would just be cool to just keep adding to ideas instead of use it once, then it's done.
And you have 3 like specific areas on you probably could do more, but I mean, honestly, you got 3 different types of uniqueness with your property, right? Between the orchard, the wildflower farm, and the Enchanted Forest, to be able to provide uniqueness and style to someone who wants those types of things, for sure. Right. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I love it. I wake up excited to get to work on this every day.
I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. That's awesome. So tell me, like, so someone wants to book with you guys, what do they need to go through? What's the process?
So a couple people have reached out to me through my website. Like, again, I said, I am a new venue. So
Yeah,
it's kind of,
okay.
my website's still not completely fleshed out. But by the time we're rolling around to the weddings that we're accepting, things should be a little bit better. So honestly, people just email me and then we set up a date to check out the farm. It's best to check it out during the summer. I
Yeah.
actually did a showing late last spring. So it's like before all the snow was thawed. And I'm just like, why did I show this to them? Like, it was just a lot of walking. The trees weren't in bloom. So I'm just going to limit it to May through, honestly, October, still gorgeous at the farm. So only during the dates that we would accept wedding venue or like wedding bookings is probably when I can show it. But yeah, we would take a tour of the farm. I'd show you all the potential venues. My favorite one is obviously the forest. So I might spend the most time explaining in there how it's looking once it's all together.
Yeah.
But then from there, we look through photos of past events and ideas that I've had sketched out. And we can kind of design the wedding like piece by piece through there, from where like the tables and the dance floor goes, like everything is customizable. Like if you want the venue or the ceremony in the woods, or if you want it in the tent, we could even mix and match and have ceremony in the Wildflower Field event, or like reception in the forest.
Yeah.
Like everything is up in the air. And that's why no two weddings will be the same at this farm. And that's what I'm so excited about.
That's cool. So your primary season is from like maybe May, June to October?
I would say June through October, because May's still unpredictable. I would say for like events, maybe not weddings though, unless you're okay with a smaller like show, I guess, from the trees.
Well, I mean, people still get married in the wintertime, believe it or not. Now, whether it's out,
that's true.
You know, that's a whole different deal.
And I do have ideas for that down the road. There's some beautiful clear tents that I want to get. I mean, Michigan in the winter is miserable but beautiful. So if you love the cold, like they have these completely clear tents. So it's like acrylic tents that you can have a heater in. You can also have a cooler during the summer, but that's a little silly. Yeah. And so I think it would just be so beautiful to have the snow falling down on top of the tent, and you can watch the stars, have the lights in the tent. But I think that's a down the road thing. I don't know if I can convince too many people to go outside and risk the cold to get into the tent.
And then getting them from parking, you know, through the through the stuff to the place, right?
But it would be a dream, and maybe I would have a full greenhouse built by that point. So this might be 5-10 years down the road, but I'm making those plans.
I could totally see you doing it, for sure. Totally see you doing it.
Yes.
So tell me, like, so since you guys are only booking between like June and October, how far in advance do your couples need to be booking with you guys? Obviously, the best time to see it is during the summertime, right? During the prime time.
I know, so we don't give a ton of time.
So
to see you make those decisions.
Are you guys only? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, fortunately, right now we are brand new, so we only have a couple events booked this summer, just because everything's been taking longer than expected. So we still have a couple openings this fall, and then next year we only have a couple booked. So as of right now, almost open availability, which is pretty fantastic, especially because in Northern Michigan, some venues are saying at least 2 years out on their wait list. So it's like some people just want to get married sooner than that. So
yeah, for sure.
Brand new venue.
And it's difficult too, like depending on your venue type, right? Like what your cost structure is going to be in 2 years from now, right? Like it could, who knows, right? So I think some are being a little bit more cautious about, do we book out 2 years or not? So now's the time to get in to do it, right? So essentially everyone that's booking with you should probably plan a year in advance. Is that what you're thinking?
I would say so. I think it would be hard to put together all the pieces with less than a year, unless it's like we meet each other in May and you want to have an October wedding. That is doable if you want to meet with me that many times to to finish all the pieces together.
Gotcha. So is your design,
but I would say year.
Yeah, is your design work included in the fee for the space, or is that an extra thing on top of the space?
That would be an extra. I mean, I would design and lay out anything that is owned by the venue, but from their decorations, anything I'd have to shop for would be extra. And then my time after that would be extra. but I'm always happy to throw in the things I already have.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm excited to see it and I know how good it would look there. So honestly, it'd be hard for me not to.
Yeah, exactly. And then what about other events besides weddings? I mean, you guys have an opportunity to do other things, right?
Yeah, we actually are starting a campground on the property too.
Really?
So right now we're pairing with a company called Tenter.
Okay.
And it's essentially a hotel room in a tent.
Nice.
So it's a platform hotel room, kind of, it reminded me of like Girl Scout camp. I was in this giant canvas tent with bunk beds. So it's like that, except it's a beautiful canvas tent on a platform with a queen bed inside. And it comes with a heater for colder months. And then there's windows like with a great view for the summer months.
This sounds like an opportunity for your weddings also too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So whenever we book out the wedding, we also clear the weekend from tenter availability. So those would be first, like essentially up for grabs for the wedding parties. And also, so you won't have strangers like sneaking into your reception, because that would be a bummer.
That'd be a little weird, right?
Yeah, it would be a little weird. So it's kind of off the books for those days. And it kind of makes it great for like people coming from out of town.
So
if they want a fun place to stay.
Yeah, for sure, right? And then is it also something that the couple getting married can use to get ready and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. And something that we're planning to purchase this fall. We're getting temperature controlled glamping yurts too. So these ones are a little bit bigger than the tenter sites, but they're removable, so they won't be on a platform. So we can put it wherever the couple wants. But they have a little AC unit in it and a heater. So you can honestly control, I'm sure it won't be perfect because it's still a tent. Control the atmosphere in there. And we'll have some mirrors set up for like bridesmaids to get ready in if they choose. Otherwise, we do have outbuildings that is available for rent with full power and AC in the area too. But I think these would, even if it's just for photos, it would just be so fun. Just having down a little Persian rug, some throw pillows, just a fun little getaway. Like could be a champagne brunch or something fun like that on the property.
Yeah.
We're just really excited to get those ones moving.
Especially in the Enchanted Forest, that sounds like a pretty cool deal. Yeah. And then what about around you guys? Do you guys have, are there facilities and stuff for guests and stuff flying in or coming in, or?
We're working with a lot of the local hotels, and it's funny, a lot of the most beautiful places are just motels in the area, but it's like motel in northern Michigan is still like a dream destination. So there's a great place called I want to say it's the Sleeping Bear Motel. Just a couple miles from there, they have a cute little sand volleyball court, grills and everything. And honestly, for my wedding, we're planning on just booking out the whole place for relatives who don't want to stay on the property.
Nice.
Because it's just a fun place with a lot of common areas. So it's like the wedding party can continue there. Or like the rehearsal dinner can even be there, or after party, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's some good spaces.
That sounds cool. Sounds like fun. And then, you know, so, you know, you've been in the design business for a while, right? And so for couples like that are like thinking about designing a wedding, things like that, what kind of advice would you have for them when they're thinking about, you know, like, I want a specific theme or design for my wedding? What should they be thinking about? What advice would you have for them?
I would say just start with what makes you happy, and don't think too much about like the rules of weddings. Like I was at a wedding that had 3 forks, 2 spoons, and a lot of people were like, what do we do with all this? And I know the bride was so stressed getting those things ready. It's like the details do matter if they matter to you, but also like, don't let the little things stress you out. It's like, make the day your own, make it make you happy. Like, I hope everybody's happy working on their wedding plan. Yeah, I just feel like you shouldn't be trying to please everybody else. You should just be pleasing yourself. Like the couple should be making themselves happy with this, just making it completely their own.
Do you feel like some younger couples have a lot of pressure and stress from their parents or from relatives, or, you know, I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, so if you're older, right, it's probably a little bit less stress, and I don't know, maybe not, it depends on your parents, right? But if you're younger, you probably have a lot more pressure from your parents. Do you feel like you're seeing that at all?
Yes and no. One of my favorite couples that I've been working with, like the mom was just so happy that her daughter found this space, because she's like, this is exactly what I've dreamt for her. And that was just really refreshing. And I feel like the style of my venue kind of scares away the people who, you know, want the 13 forks on their table, you know, the completely prim and proper thing, like that, there's a time and place for that. And my venue's not that. And so hopefully people won't be trying to get that at this outdoor, like it's going to be like a boho chic venue. So it won't, I mean, you can follow the rules, but you don't have to here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think you're totally right on there, because you know, there's types of places for that type of, you know, formality, right? If you really want that level. But if you just want to like relax and chill and enjoy the outdoors, a great event, then yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So last question I have for you. If you had to go back 3 or 5 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Start saving for your wedding. I'm just kidding.
Right, because it's expensive.
It's funny. So off on a tangent. So I recently got engaged, but me and my fiance, we've been building this venue together, and it's just so funny because it's like one of the things that, like, whenever we got engaged, we're like, well, we already have the venue, it's paid for technically, but then we're like, well, we have all these ideas now, and so it's like, even though we have the venue, it's like now we think that we can afford all these things that we couldn't otherwise, like a hot air balloon, a Ferris wheel. And so it's like, this venue is an open, like a blank canvas, and we are definitely trying to fill it with our dreams right now. And so I'm like, maybe I should have started saving for this part 5 years ago.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Erika, thanks so much. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. This was really, really fun.